Good morning. It is Monday. Thank you, Captain Obvious. It is Monday. I hope everyone had a profitable yet, or better yet, a good weekend. I hope you did what makes you happy, or I hope you did what makes you profitable, or I hope you were able to be blessed by doing both. Me, I did neither. Oh, man. I wasn't profitable, and I did not. Well, I did a couple of things that I like doing, but for the most part, we had to deal with tax stuff and all kinds of different things. So, anyways, that's always fun, right? So, good morning. I hope everyone is well. And I've been seeing a lot of. I made the mistake of getting on Facebook trucking groups and look at all the well, all the shenanigans, I guess. And I did notice that they were trying to drive some rates down Friday, at least in my area. So I thought about it's going to be interesting. Let's just say that, right? So, anyways, we're going to go over some low board stuff. This will be I will not be going live Wednesday morning because I will be on the road. I will be in a vehicle heading to Louisville, Kentucky. So, and I'm not the person that's going to do a live feeding drive. That's unsafe and illegal. So, but I probably will go live Thursday morning from the room and Friday morning from the room before everything starts, and possibly Saturday. We'll see. So, but anyways, we pick up the rental car tomorrow and then head out Wednesday. So, be there Wednesday evening, hang out with the people from Thunder Funning, get to hang out with Mr. Like and his wife, and it'll be a good time. So, I'm looking forward to it. Maybe I'll see a few sightseeing spots between there and here. So, it's funny. I'll go on when I came back from New York in a rental car, we had to rush to get to Indy for my sister so she can make her flight back home. But then from Indy, I thought, well, I'll visit all the places I want to visit, right? That I can't in the truck. And of course, I didn't. I think I hit one restaurant that I wouldn't be able to get in, only to find out I can get a truck in that restaurant. So I'm like, So, but you don't care about that. You want to hear your name shouted out, and you want to see low board crap, and you want to hear me speak some, I don't know, some common sense. I wouldn't call it wisdom. I'd just call it common sense. I don't know. Cheers. I've got the Cool Dad mug because that's what I am. So, I mean, I'm sure somebody might disagree with me, but that's a different story for a different day. So, all right, let's do some shout outs here. And, all right, WCF Invader. Oh, yeah. Wow, I'm here before anyone else can, before it starts. Yeah, that's weird how StreamYard does that. Like, it'll actually kick in live before I hit the button go live. And then I'm also streaming this on Facebook as well. So if you haven't checked out my Facebook page, just look for Snorelord. Boom, there it is. Right. I'm more likely to communicate there than I am on my own page, because my own page I only visit about 15 minutes, 20 minutes a day at most anymore, because it's just too much hate, discontent, and flames. That's the deal with Facebook. But we're streaming there. I have these cards, right? I made these business cards, and it's got all my socials. But I forgot. I missed one. I missed my Rumble. I didn't put my Rumble account. Yes, I do have a Rumble account. Again, at Snorelord. I make it easy for me to find. And I will be I will have business cards for both me and the YouTube channel, and then also for Rig Runner Logistics. And I believe Jeff will have some for like trucking. So if you are interested in coming over, if you got your own truck, come on over. We have a couple empty trailers, and people keep asking me if I'm gonna put somebody in my truck and or trailer. I will probably. Oh, we'll see. We'll see what finances look like. But I might. My contract for my lease, not my lease, but my purchase for my trailer states that I cannot lease or rent it out until it's mine, and the last payment will be coming out the beginning of May. So we'll see. Anyways, that'll save me about 7 some odd grand a year. So money saved is money earned. Southbound, what's up? I like this new early notification system. Yeah, it's nice when it actually works. We've got 34 people in here. That's pretty good for me, I guess. CB, what's up from Tennessee? Morning, folks. Twitch, what's up? Pigtails in the house. Sorry we did not get together with the other person there, Pigtail, this weekend. This weekend was just slammed with a bunch of stuff, so we'll have to check that person's schedule and then schedule the time. And I see that one person made it from the coast, so hopefully that's all working out well. Grafton, what's up? Rates look significantly better than at least here in the Midwest. I don't know. They weren't Friday afternoon, that's for sure. My name is Nobody. Good morning. Good. I hope to see you at Matt's there. Jason, good morning. Stuart, what's up? Good morning. Shannon's in the house. Good morning, everyone. Sitting there hanging out. They're in Florida. Sage Outcast. I'm so excited for broker transparency. No, you ain't. Reefer, good morning. One more week for you, buddy. Good morning, Snorelord in chat. Pigtail, morning. Cheap Freight Hauler, good morning, everybody. Twitch, is it illegal to vid in a car if hands-free? Serious question. There are some states that if the cop sees you actually with a cup of coffee in your hand or a sandwich, that's distracted driving, you can get a ticket for it. So I have yet to see a video program that will allow you to start streaming at the voice command. You have to set it up. Now, here's the thing. You might be able to like, okay, I'm not driving. I'm sitting here in a parking lot. And you get your phone, and you put it in the holder, and you hit the button, go live, right? And now you drive. And you're like sitting there chatting with people, and you're reading the comments, because what good are live feeds if you don't read the comments? Here's the thing. People want that interaction. That's the whole purpose of a live feed. Now, unless you're documenting some news, like, oh, here's this building on fire, and you're showing that live, you may not interact with the crowd. But where a lot of people tattletale on themselves, a lot of these truck drivers that do live streaming going down the road, they read the comments. And if you look at the FMCSA regulation on that, guess what? It says any reading of text is distracted driving, and it's considered texting. So if you're sitting there going down the road at 70 miles an hour, and you look at the comment, oh, hey, so and so, what's up? They know you're reading. Now you can sit there and let's say the cop pulls you over, or let's say you have an accident, and you say, well, yeah, I was live streaming, but I started that live streaming before I was driving. Is that really going to stand up in court? No. So common sense would say that, you got to look at it from a liability. For example, if you are on your phone with a Bluetooth headset and you have an accident, they could still call it distracted driving because your phone record says that you were on the phone. Now, to me, having a Bluetooth headset is no different than having somebody in the cab or the vehicle with you and you're talking to them. But I know in Georgia, they were pulling people over. Well, I was just messing with Spotify. I was just getting my iTunes ready. Well, no, you were still touching the phone. So even if you started your live stream before you started driving, how are you going to prove that? Other than the phone records, when did this app start and all that? So why even put yourself in that position? And so all these truck drivers that do live streaming, I'll tell you this: if you've ever done a live stream while driving, coming over to Like Trucking is probably not a good idea. So, because we won't take on that kind of liability. So, but anyways, you could you could still be distracted. So whether it's illegal or not, it's just bad practice, right? So, CDN Freight Broker. Good morning, Steve. I too wanted to do a video with you, and I failed at that. We're going to talk about why brokers don't post rates on low boards. Marty, what's up? Pulling the heartstrings of a low board. Does it show car carrier? Yeah, it will. We can look that over. Trucking with T-Bone. Good morning. There's not going to be much on there. Checking in from Mayberry, North Carolina, says Cheap Freight Hauler. Tennessee Trucking. Good morning. I'm going to turn my channel into a debate channel. Any channels want to debate each other, I will host. LOL. Tolga, good morning. Georgia hands-free law makes it illegal to record or watch a video while driving. There you go. There's your answer. So now if you got somebody in your car or in your truck, like I've seen husband and wife teams do this, where the wife is holding the phone while the husband's driving, or vice versa. It's clearly in the passenger seat, and that person with the phone is reading the comments. That person's not driving, so that would be okay. But I'm going up the mats by myself, so there'd be no light. Besides, you guys don't want to listen to me for 3 or 4 hours. I mean, come on. I'm not that exciting. I'm actually boring to some people, so that's why I don't see the numbers that the other live streams do. Asia Mai recently posted a video of a guy being fined and put out of service for typing in GPS. Yes. It's getting to the point that, look, here's the thing. I used to have these arguments with these old school guys all the time. Or not arguments, but discussions. I try not to argue with anybody because it's just pointless. You never win an argument, because if you win because you're right, they're going to hate you. If you win because you're wrong, they're going to hate you. Either way. So what's the point of arguing, right? Anyways, in the discussions, they would sit there and say, well, I'm on paper logs, and this is back before the ELD mandate, and so I'm I don't do any of that stuff, and and then I said, well, look at your cell phone. On the back of the old school flip phones, it said Qualcomm in the back. And the first thing that they asked for, and I had a friend of mine that had an accident. He blew a steer, turned his truck over, and a state trooper was right behind him when it happened. And this is back in the paper log days, and he pulled over. Obviously, he rolled over to the right, went down an embankment. The truck slid down the embankment, and the state trooper went in there and see if he was all right. And he was like, "Are you okay?" Yeah. He helped me out of the truck. He was like, "All right, the first thing I need is your logbook." And he goes, "Well, we're on e-logs, so this is before the mandate, where some companies were still on paper. We were one of the first companies to get on the Qualcomm ELD system." And then he asked for his cell phone. And so if there's, and look, he didn't have to give it up if he didn't want to at that point. But here's the thing. If let's say you have an accident, this is safety, Steve, today, right? Let's say you have an accident, and let's say a car crosses a median, no fault of your own. Okay, no fault of your own. Car crosses a median. If they got a good enough lawyer, they're going to get your cell phone records. They're going to see if you were supposed to be there. They're going to see, you know, and let's say the accident knocked the phone out of your holder and you were watching a YouTube video. I mean, there is a video out there where I saw where like somebody was watching a movie going down the road and the cop pulled him over and the guy didn't even have the common sense to shut the movie down. And when the cop told him, "Hey, you're not supposed to be doing that," guy looked at him like he had a third eye or something, and he was completely clueless. And I see it all the time. I see it more and more actually. People watching Netflix going down the road. You can see in the reflection in the mirror. You can see it. If the screen lit up at night going down the road. And even though YouTube, a lot of YouTube's podcast style, like you don't have to be watching what I'm doing right now. You can just be listening. Well, but it's still YouTube. Unless you're using the YouTube Music app, which this isn't considered music, so I don't know if it would pop up like that. But still, you're showing that you're messing with your phone. You're messing with the electronic device. And some companies, they discourage you from having a CB radio. Schneider did. Schneider was like CB radio off. They don't even want you like grabbing the mic to talk. So I mean that's now I think that's a little ridiculous because the CB can be a great safety tool. But but everybody's afraid of liability. I mean, look at these big, huge verdicts that puts trucking companies out of business or could potentially put them out of business. Landstar and Schneider were real strict about the sitting duck rule. They were like, you should be calling safety at our company while you're putting your triangles out if you know you're going to be there for more than 5 minutes. That's how they look at it. So I mean, it's yeah, you got to be careful. And and the police, they're in. I've seen them in plain wrapper, basic cars. I've seen them in. I've seen cops in Indianapolis years ago in Trans Ams and Mustang GTs, unmarked completely, to pull over people. And so you might look in your mirrors like, okay, now's my chance to look at the dashboard. Well, click on that. Meanwhile, the SUV next to you is a cop. You didn't even realize it. And then the other one is, in Tennessee, they got a whole semi truck. They go on these blitzes where they grab a charter bus that's got tinted windows to catch people texting and driving, truck drivers and cars. No one suspects the bus. So, I mean, you got to really watch that. So, SST, what's up? We see it all the time. Blockbuster movie being played on the phone, up on the dash or windscreen, and foot up on the dash. We wonder why accidents are up. Absolutely. I just saw that the other day. Large chaplain on top of the dash of all places. Movie playing, trailer rolling on my side of the zipper. There was one guy. He had that. Oh, it's not max mount. It's something else mount, but it's like a bar, and he literally had like 4 devices, like right there that flip down. It's like, dude, that's and he put that on YouTube. It's like you guys are ridiculous. It's bad enough. Phone records will be demanded by a court. Yep. If it's high property or high injury or fatality, damn right, they're going to get those cell phone records. They'll get a subpoena for them. They'll get a warrant for them. I had a FMCSA officer on my show once about this. Yeah, but he took all those videos down. It'd be nice if you can reference that video. Mr. Mallory, good morning. The CB radio thing is just stupid. How else are we going to know what lane is blocked, right? How is he going to know if the scales are open or not? Like you're going to go around them, right? Cash is king. What's up, man? Put the link to your other channel. To both your channels, Cash. But I noticed you changed the name of your other channel there. So, as a safety guy, is it a good idea to stand on the frame rail with the hood up as someone drives the truck asking for a friend? Probably not. Probably not. So, but you got to be careful. So, you don't want to do live feeds going down the road, regardless of what you're driving. It's just you know. I believe there's a website that gives you links to all the YouTube videos that someone had posted of live feeds where someone wrecked and died. They're out there, right? So, quick hit. What's up? Good morning. Anyways, let's go over some low board stuff, shall we? All right. Do. On the share option on StreamYard, there's an option for a second camera. Like you need two different angles of me. There's the horrible angle, and then there's the even worse angle. That's about what you get. Let's see. Here's Van. Let's do Van first. Good old fashioned Van freight. Look at all that red out there out west. Let's take a look at Cali. Let's see what kind of rates we're getting out of Cali. You got a lot of stuff basically staying in the west. Once you get in kind of this corridor right here, it's kind of a bit of a bear to get out without taking a hit. Here's Fresno to Somerville, Georgia. Average rate is $1.54 a mile. All right. And that's to another market. So let's look at that market. Let's see what it looks like coming out of there. So a lot of loads coming out of Somerville. So the volumes are good. $1.53, $1.65, $1.54 to go up to one going to Houston. $1.53 to go to Houston. Clarkston, Michigan, $1.66. Axle's got $1.54. Now, if you put it at the highest rate on the filter, it'll have the highest, but then you can kind of cherry pick. Like here's one, like you got $1.72 mile to go back to California, then this one's $2.65 a mile to go to Florida. So obviously that's a shorter mile, so that's a bigger rate per mile. But look at the rate per day on that. It picks up on the 29th, delivers the 31st. So it picks up Wednesday, delivers Friday, right? Yeah, Friday. 6 a.m. So if you had a way to get out of Florida, which can be difficult, this would be a good load because then you have an early delivery, as long as the delivery wasn't stupid like Target or something like that. So, and then whatever you get out of there, you're going to take a hit. I mean, obviously, and so that's the fact that they're actually put in 266. The average is 257. So they're right above. I've been seeing a lot of stuff on 123 where the posted rates are above the average. So that's usually a good sign that there's a little bit of an uptick in demand. So, and capacity is loosening up a little bit or tightening up. I'm sorry. Here's another one, 264. A mile going to New York, Webster, New York. There's a second stop. There's 2 stops in Huntsville. Obviously, 2 shippers. 22,000 pounds. Exhibit materials. So this is a trade show load. So you'd really want to know where this was going in Webster, New York. Looks like it's upstate, so it's not like you're in New York City. So it may not be too bad. Might be the warehouse where they keep those exhibit materials. That's why it's paying better. Exhibit materials usually do pretty good. In fact, you might get lucky and get a load of exhibit materials out of Louisville if you're going to the truck show. There's T-Bone's channel. Or, I'm sorry, Diabetic Truckers channel. Thank you. Link to my channel. There you go. It was called Trucking with Diabetes. Now it's Diabetic Trucker. So there you go. So let's remove that. And, and to have that kind of a load out of Huntsville, Alabama, that would be a good load if you can get yourself out of New York because, um, let's see did it have the times and all that? Yeah, it picks up Friday, delivers Monday, 8 a.m. So now the 2 stops, there might be what do they call the staging area? So you don't have 20 trucks coming in. Jason, if you're in here, you can tell me. Something yard, I forget what it's called. But that's probably why there's 2 stops because you actually show up at the yard first, where the staging area, and then you're going to go into the actual dock. So that's how that stuff works. I once picked up a load of pallets from a plant show, flower show out of downtown Columbus, and they got mad at me because I didn't go to the yard because the broker didn't tell me. But then they got me in, they squeezed me in, so I got lucky on that. I was getting kind of nervous because it was getting kind of late in the day in Columbus on a Friday, and I didn't want to be stuck there. So bullpen, no, it's called something else. It's something yard. Bullpen, that's for baseball. That's a baseball term. Stepdaddy Cash. Rat, lay it down. You always put that song in my head from Rat every time I see your name. Here's another one too. So yeah, I think Don, you're right. Some of the rates have come up. This is out of this is within 150 miles of Somerville, Georgia. You're hitting the Chattanooga market. This one picks up Wednesday, delivers Thursday, 1,400, 250. So 1,400 for one day. If you're doing the daily rate, 559 miles. So depending on your deadhead, looks like it's 44 miles to Chattanooga. So if you're coming out of Cali, that's probably going to be not too bad of a load, but then you're going to take that hit for the most of the week. Let's look at Missouri. Missouri's been kind of weird. I've been kind of annoyed by my own load boards around here. Now to get to Arizona's, this is a pretty standard load. Webb City, which is Joplin, going to Glendale, Arizona, which is Phoenix. They're at $23.25, $1.97 a mile. That needs to be a little bit higher because you're going to take a hit out of Phoenix. Then you got to watch your freeze protect. There's still some areas where it's getting below freezing, so you got to watch that. Let's see. Let's look at Glendale to Anywhere. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Highest paying load is $1.66 a mile, 2,800 going to Illinois. But that's actually better than what I've seen in the past. Usually they're only offering $1.30, $1.40 to go up to Illinois from Arizona. This $1.96 to go to Grandview, Washington. That now you're going to be stuck in that Western 11. So let's look at the highest rate per mile here. I mean, look, guys, you've got Phoenix to Cali here for $1 a mile, and the average is $1.15. So so if you want to go west, I mean, at a time when you were getting 8 or 9 or 10 grand to come out of Cali, that would make sense. But now, make $1 to go into California and then $1.40 to come out for long miles. That you know, unless you want to bounce up to Washington, that's where you're going to get your good rate. Marshalling Yard, yes, there you go. That's what it is. Jose, thank you. That's it. Marshalling Yard. So that's why that's probably listed at 2 stops. I would do that load. I would totally do that load out of Tennessee going to New York. I even got my HUD sticker. A lot of like here, Phoenix to Hutchins, Texas. Again, you're going to take a hit to another area where you're going to take a hit out. So, $1.32 is the average. Just no posted rate. Yeah, well, what's coming out of Hutchins. We're already in the. They're not showing it. Then a lot of non-posted rates. They're hoping that you don't pay attention to these numbers. They want you to set the acre first. I mean, sometimes you'll call on them. And then Pepsi Logistics. A lot of people complain about Pepsi Logistics. Let me show you something on Pepsi, right? There's a strategy with them. Now they have this web chat, PepsiLogistics.com. I've never tried that, but what they'll do is the load posting will have like 4 or 5 or 6 phone numbers or an email. I love using the email because usually I get a pretty prompt response. And then once I have that email in the system, if there's another load that I see somewhere else, I will email them first. Or once you have a direct line, keep that number in your phone so you don't have to deal with the 8 or 9 or 10 phone numbers. Now, Pepsi has improved it. On communicating with them, but there's still a lot of work to be done. So, but I other than that, I never have issues with Pepsi. They've been good about detention. They're pretty good about um, pickup numbers and stuff like that. I've never had an issue with them. But it looks like your best paying load is pretty much going to be this would be the load I want. United Transportation. So you'd have to make sure it's 15,000 pounds. Exhibit materials again. There's the exhibit materials. So another great thing. Another great. That's why it's the best paying load on the board. There was a time where after I bought my trailer, I was going to turn it into a logistics trailer. In other words, I was going to buy the ramp that you can put on there. I was going to put the belly boxes so I can put blankets and extra straps, put the E-tracks in it. Even though I've got logistics posts every 16 inches, E-tracks would definitely help because you can fine tune your load securement. And when I realized that a lot of that stuff was very rarely on the spot market, I didn't go through with that. That was like a $2,000 investment I didn't want to make. So that was more prominent at Landstar. If I was at Landstar, I would have done that. That's the world I wanted to get into. Cash is like the Wilford Brimley of trucking with diabetes. It's a wired name. Morning. Hope everyone's off to a great start. Fate, what's up? Ruining that nice pretty new truck you got. Fate, I sent you a pic of the Porta John. You're welcome. SSD is laughing. Let's see. I saw a load from southern Iowa to Wisconsin for $1,000, $350 a mile. The Pepsi web chat has never worked in my experience. Well, that's good to know. I've never messed with it. You know, this is the thing where I get more annoyed by low volumes than lower rates, and here's why. Because when I look at a load board, I'm looking for the brokers I'm familiar with first. That's just how I am. Because if I know that they're approved with underfunding, I don't have to look them up. So that speeds the process up. And then if I have history with this broker and it's positive history, those are the ones I'm looking for first. And then if it's so like I'll be more likely to, if it's CH Robinson, I'll go to the app and look at it at the information there. If it's Coyote, same thing. If it's Uber, same thing. If it shows up on the low board, and then I look for like Axle, USA, Venture, Worldwide. I've got a lot of history with Worldwide. Oh, maybe not that Worldwide. There's several Worldwides, so I'm more likely to look those first. Pepsi, TQL, Surge, Stored. I tend to call them. I have to be a little bit more desperate to give them a call to inquire about a load, unless it's like exactly what I need. And that's how I roll, right? And that's just what it is. So a lot of these mom and pop brokers that popped up, that show no credit score, I don't even mess with them. For the most part, because I don't want to bring a risk to like trucking, right? So if they have no credit score, we got to figure that out and know why. And and just be aware. Like here's a load, $15 a mile. Yeah, Scottsdale, Arizona, to Chandler. Picks up at 6 a.m., delivers at 12:02 a.m. So I don't know if that's accurate or not. Furniture, literally going 20 miles for $300. If they got you right in and right out, that might be a good feeling while you're waiting for a real load to come out of there. So you just got to take a look at the differences there. But you can brag, man, I got $15 a mile coming out of Phoenix, man. So what she said. So you've also had Twitch. You've also had experience with that Pepsi web chat. I would rather just email them. If I see a Pepsi logistics load that has an email, I'll email them. But I'm still looking while I'm emailing. That's the beauty of using me to book loads, is that I can literally like be emailing two brokers and calling on loads while I'm waiting for the return email, while trying to book for one truck. So there's a constant set of wheels going. Old man, what's up? If you're going to do stuff like that, you need to be hooked up with a company named Rocket Cargo. Oh, okay. We talk about the exhibit stuff. SST, what's up? Oh, you're saying RD. I've already said hi to you. I don't know why you. DIY Semi, good morning. The old man, sup SST. Stuart, I am doing a lot of show stuff with Kenny, doing stuff for the Formula One, and currently on one for the CMT Tour. There you go. I was reading a comment. Twitch was commenting on Shannon's comment about Pepsi. So, yeah, get your mind out of the gutter. Well, if you're going to play that game, I got a load for 24 miles last week for 310. That's over $10 a mile. Right. And look, that's what some people will do online, and they'll get on YouTube, or they'll sit there and on the Facebooks and go, can't believe you would run for $3 a mile. That's so pathetic. Ha ha ha. Meanwhile, they're making like $100. Like I heard one time someone bragged about, I got I got, $4 a mile out of Florida. Yeah, for 100 miles. You're not. It's deceiving at best, right? Plays on freeway. Hey, hey, hey. Jeffrey Houlihan, here's praying everyone has a blessed day. Thank you. Dallas to Binghamton, $1.14, new contract rates crashed. And they will. That's the thing. That's part of that's the thing. You guys new to the spot market that are seeing this downturn for the first time. Here's what happens. This is part of the cycle. And this is where I guess the actual video title comes in. Okay? If you have a contract to move something for $250 a mile, which was saving you money because the spot was asking for $350 a mile. All right? And now you can go back to the spot and move it for $1.50 a mile. The shippers have one goal in mind, is to move their stuff as cheaply as possible. And so what happens is contract rates eventually come down to meet spot. The spot market is used as a manipulation tool to get these contracts. Man, you go up to a shipper, a big carrier will go up to a shipper and say, "Hey man, I notice you're having to deal with brokers and deal with spot freight and you're paying $3 a mile. We can come in here and do this for $2.25. And we could drop 10 trailers at your facility." And they're like, "Sold." Then eventually, that takes out the volume out of the spot market. And then rates drop. And then after the rates drop, that same shipper goes up to, say, Schneider and says, "Man, we heard we can move stuff for $1.80 a mile now." And there's a certain threshold that a company will not go under because a low contract rate can put a company out of business. And so when you're dealing with big companies like Swift, Schneider, and those kind of companies, JB Hunt, they can go as low as they can. And they have the equipment to drop there. And so it takes a little bit longer for those kind of contracts. But eventually it all comes back. It all comes around. It's a big circle. It's a big cycle. And the more you understand that, then you realize that you just don't need to lose your shit. Pardon my French, but that's the reality. And so as long as you're keeping calm, cool, all those times that you got $4 a mile for loads that are paying $1.80 now, it should balance out. And granted, yes, everything else is expensive, but that's what happens when we're getting sky high rates. Everybody wants to take advantage of it. Everybody wants a piece of your pie. And they're going to do everything they can to keep as much for themselves. I mean, if your costs are only $1.80 a mile, and you're sitting there quoting them, $3 a mile, I mean, isn't that kind of the same thing? You're getting as much as you possibly can. That's how capitalism works. I guarantee you that, like, things that you pay hundreds, if not thousands of dollars are pennies on the dollar to make and or sell. Gotta love rate per mile masters, right? There are some good rate per mile masters. You got to sort. It's like going through the DVD bin at Walmart. You got to sort through all of it. You might find one gem in there you might want. But for the most part, that's on a down market. That's all they do is it's either boasting on a good market, like I'm getting $4 a mile, you guys blah blah blah, or it's oh man, I can't believe you guys are moving this for $1.30, $1.20. Let's boycott brokers. Please, please boycott brokers. Go for it. Get rid of them. Don't use them for your platform to make money. I told my brokers when rates were high that I wouldn't gouge them, and I hope they remember me when the market turned. Now that they're sticking it to me, if it turns around, they're getting along hard. And that's the mindset that both sides have. And and look, I always preach that have relationships with brokers, but the reality is there are brokers that aren't worth a relationship at all. They don't value it. If look, whether you're a broker working for a carrier or a carrier working for a broker, if that other person doesn't value you, then don't work with them. That's a common sense thing in life. Don't work with people that don't value your service. Simple as that. And it's through tough times that you find out who your real friends are. It's through tough times that you find out who you should or shouldn't have partnered with. Then contracting with the shipper during boom times is no hedge against a horrible spot market. I see what you're saying. Jackknife, what's up? Capitalism is great till you're the one getting shafted. Called Navajo Express yesterday on a load 1,030 miles from North Dakota to Georgia, 42,000 pounds. He said the max they could do was 1,600. That's and I'm surprised you're able to get a hold of them. They're another one that never answer the phone when I call them, and I'll use 3 different phone numbers. That I can never get them on the phone. You find out who your friends are. More true words have never been spoken, and that's it. And you got to realize that you might have a good repertoire with a broker. Like we got a killer CH rep. He's got me out of a jam so many times. He's got more money. Hell, I've even started at a lower number. He's like, you know what? I could probably get you more than that. Really? Okay. And if he knows he can't move on it, he will. You probably want to look elsewhere, Steve. How about this one? Because that they're not going to come up on that. And I agree with you. It sucks. That's the kind of broker you want to work with. The problem is their volumes are down as well, so they got less to choose from. And so it's a give and take situation at all times. And if everybody's always swinging for the fences, then the pendulum just swings in more extreme ways. We're going to go down to 90 or 8, 50 cents a mile freight to, $5 a mile freight. Meanwhile, if you can zero in on the contracts or the dedicated stuff that gives you set rate per mile. I know people are doing some dedicated stuff right now for above average rate for all miles, empty and loaded. Sonar Girl said 8,000 a year for that program. Yep, it's expensive. The only way I see Sonar being worth the money, worth that kind of money, is if I had a fleet of trucks I had to keep moving and they're all in the spot market. But beyond that, there was a time where a bunch of YouTubers like Jay Cannell, Oh, a few others. I forget who the others were. They're on this trial period with Sonar, and they were trying desperately to get them to get that rate down, and they wouldn't do it. So we come from DIY's little stunt. Navajo cuts the rates to the bone. They're probably losing money at 1,600. Yeah, I mean that a lot of brokers are doing that. A lot of brokers to keep their work, man. They're cutting each other's rates. I had one broker is like, "Hey, I'm not doing this, but my boss wanted to see your rate con for the other load that you did for this customer that we have that you did with another brokerage," and he just laughed at me, like, "I'm not doing that to you." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I hope not, because I would never do that." And if you're a carrier doing direct freight, kind of like you're in the jungle and you've hunted, you're a lion and you've hunted, and you got this piece of meat to yourself, and all the vultures and the coyotes and the hyenas and the other prides are going to come in and take a piece of what you have. I mean, it's very cutthroat in the brokerage slash carrier world. Shannon, I got an egg cooker like the one you use. It works awesome. Thanks for showing it. There you go. Cool. There are no friends in business, just allies. Know the difference. There you go. That's those are good words. On my way to pick up a one pick, 7-drop driver assist nursery stock, all Home Depots, first come, first serve. Georgia and northern Minnesota, 970 miles, 3,500. Figure I'd try something new. Wish me luck. That's good money right now. That's good. It's going to be a little bit of work, but Home Depots are fairly easy to get into, and I would totally do that. I would totally do that load. Take the Mackinac Bridge. What part of Georgia are you picking that up in? Lot of flowers are coming out of a lot of nursery stock coming out of Florida, Georgia, Texas. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at Florida here. Looking for the highest rate here. A lot of loads. Let's take a look at Georgia. Here's a load for $50. That's got to be a typo. It should be 500. Oh, it should be 900. Yeah, there's something going on with that. Let's see. Not a whole lot of big numbers I'm seeing. Your biggest rate per mile is just going to go back south to Georgia. Fetch Freight's also got some for $50. Oh, there's a story there. I'd like to hear that one. Here we go. It's 4,900 to go all the way to Washington. Well, they're above the average. Pallets, van only. 38,000 pounds. If you're trying to get to Washington, out of McDonough. So let's say you get them up to 5,000. So 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 5 days. That's $1,000 a day. That's good money for a van. My dedicated run is 225 a mile, but I'm loaded both ways. Only wasted miles is the miles I use to stop by the house every day. Hard to complain in this market, even though I'm not a fan of the broker. $50, all we got in it. That's we've got. You know, can you do 60? No, I can do $51.83. That's about all I can do. That's all we got in it. Did you ever talk about the late produce season due to rain in Cali? Springtime rates won't go up much. I have mentioned that, RD. I have mentioned that. I love them words and respond, well, I guess you underbid. I've done that too. Like, wow, man. And and it's awesome being on the computer talking to one of my guys over at one of the brokers I use all the time. And I'm like, I'll send him screenshots of different loads and different pricings and the 30-day average, and he's just, or the 15-day, and he's just like, yeah, I think we underbid it. I'm like, you think? Well, if you can move it, God bless you, but you ain't moving it with me. So, all right, so that's van. Let's look at reefer. Let's see where we're at on the refrigerated. Oh wait, Marty wanted car hauler. Here we go. There's your car hauler. There's not going to be any average rates on this stuff. Low volumes. I think most auto haulers aren't on these low boards. And they're going to be partials, 80 cents a mile. Flatbed, step deck, auto, LTL. 1947 Ford Cabover pickup. Ramps required. So, yeah. Auto haulers aren't on the 123 low board. I don't care how good their code is. By the way, 48065 for the code for 123 low board. All right. Let's do reefer. Apply. All right, let's take a look at Missouri. See what we got coming out of here. If I want to go visit DIY up there in Wisconsin, if I had a reefer trailer, what would that look like? Well, here's a logo in the Colorado. They're at $249 a mile. Average is $292. Who's the broker on this? Surge. Yeah, that's about right for them. They're always about 20% less, and it's beer. So you're gonna have to look at your beer permits. I think you're good on this load. Missouri, you're fine. I don't know about Kansas. Kansas, you might not be good going through. I did a video on Convoy's beer permit graph chart that works really well. Here we go. Carthage to Morris. This is a good load. This is going to be. I would do this load because Carthage, that's going to be either cheese or poultry coming out of the caves, and then Morris, Illinois. That's going to be Costco for the most part. Costco in Morris, Illinois is it's awesome. There's 2 truck stops across the street. They have a staging area and easy in, easy out, usually in and out of there within an hour and a half, 2 hours max if you got something screwed up. I would totally do this load. Then they're only offering, Surge is only offering $1.96 to go to Decatur, Alabama. Well, I don't know what the market looks like in Decatur. The average is, they're above the average. That's rare. So that's interesting. And then, but then let's look at Decatur, Alabama, and anywhere. Let's look at those rates. $1.52. Here's $2.64 to Webster, New York. So apparently you can put that show load that we looked at earlier in a reefer as well. So, and then what are you going to haul out of New York with the reefer? Well, New York is green, so you can take a look at that. 242 a mile, Webb City to Austinburg, Ohio. That's above average as well. Dairy products, see? A lot of eggs come out of Missouri as well, Missouri and Arkansas. We don't have much in the produce coming out of here. $4,200 go to Fife. They're a little bit below the average. 43,600 on the weight, so your fuel mileage isn't going to be great. Then look at Fife coming out of anywhere or going anywhere. You're looking at 229 to go to Florida. That's a big drive though. 7,400. So you could probably be at I don't know. That's more than 8 days. I don't know how long that would take. I'm not ready to do math yet this morning. A lot of stuff going back east. Here's one going to Franklin, Indiana. They're at $1.54. You can probably talk them up to at least $2, maybe. Then out of Indiana, you can pick up. You can pick up out of Munster. Get lunch meat out of there. Those lows aren't too bad usually, pay wise. So there's a lot of different strategies you can use. So let's take a look at Florida for reefer freight. See if we can spot what's coming out of there. Lake Wales to Monroe Township. That's also probably going to be Costco. They don't have the product listed. 43,000 pounds. $1.46, $1.85 is the average. So they're a little low. Probably need to bring them up because let's bring that back. Let's see what rates are coming out of Jersey. $2.07 a mile to come out of Jersey to Centralia, Washington. They're right at the average. Actually, they're above by like $400. It's got 2 stops on it, Phoenix and then Vernon, California. So you'd want to look at the all rate per mile on that one, and then your rate per day. Yeah, March 30th to April 7th. So if they're at 6,000, see 30, 31, 30, 32, 30, 31, and then add 7. So that's 7, 8, 9. That's 9 days for $6,000. Ooh, that's $666.66 a day. Only evil comes out of Jersey. Let's go back to the comments here. Good morning, Mr. Snorelord and all drivers. Greeting from Kansas City, Kansas. Getting empty at Sam's Club and heading back to Illinois shortly. That Sam's Club's not too bad there in Kansas City. There's a spot to spend the night right next there. There's a shipper there that doesn't care that you hang out there. Just right in the Ozarks. What's up? Normally gross 75 to 9,000 a week on 1,800 to 2,600 miles. It depends on how many empty racks I pick up. It's rate per mile plus fuel surcharge plus stop and rack pickup. So the total rate per mile varies weekly. There you go. You found the groove and you're in it. Stay in it. Pill Rider TV, you are late. It's that retirement life. Everybody saying hi to Pill Rider. Everybody, Cash is King is going live after this. Please make your way over there. Okay, thank you, Ryan. Yeah, I'm going to end this here pretty soon. I got work to do. Good morning, Snorelord. My turbo blew out. Ooh. Luckily, I was near Memphis where I knew a mechanic that came 50 miles out immediately and put on a new one for $3,900. Those would make it timely. Wow. That is like one of the best scenarios that you can have. And I'm going to guess that you have an older truck, right? I can't tell by that avatar because the YouTube logo is over the front of it. But if that's an older truck, that's why it was so low. But man, that's if you can get a turbo on there for less than 5, man, you're doing good. I hope you have a safe trip this week, Lord Source. Thank you for all these lives you do. You truly are a gem. Thank you. Yeah, Cash is King. He would not. He's too good for Van. Steve, would you allow me to join for a short few minutes? Yeah, I can do that. Let me unshare this. Let's see here. Let's get the link to you. We don't want to take too long because Cash is King. I don't want to step on him. Let's see. Doomytunes. There we go. And guys, I will have some contact info at Matt's. So if you see me, I will have these fancy business cards, and then so will Rig Runner, and so will Like Trucking. So let me compose. Let's do copy paste computer stuff. I love computer stuff. There you go. I just sent you a link there. Does Landstar have your loads? Actually, I've got tour loads. Yes. If I was at Landstar, that's what I'd be looking for. And as soon as usually you can get your foot in the door around holidays, and then once you're in, if you do a good service and they lose somebody, you're good to go. When Slipknot played here in Springfield, half the trucks were Landstar trucks. I thought that was pretty cool. Cash lives in a van down by the river. Heard from another broadcaster on here that mega carriers are snatching loads off of low boards. They do, and they will. Eating a steady diet of government cheese. What's up? Cool trucking. I love Jersey. You just got to have the one finger salute ready, right? No rush. I'm heating up some breakfast. Okay. You're not going to Matt's now. I'm staying company driver and dissolving my biz. Okay. Well, good luck, man. I hope everything's all right. Oh, you're from Jersey. What exit? Do you still park at that noisy ass reefer next to the quiet truck snatch? Yeah, I emailed you the link to your, I believe it was your Gmail. CDN Freight Broker. At the Gmail. At the Gmail. But we won't be on too long because I've got work to do. Waiting. There he is. Good morning, CDN.
Good morning. Make sure I don't get your feedback.
You're good.
Alrighty. Yeah, I don't want to keep you long because I'm busy as well. But I guess
Probably busier than me.
I just wanted to put a couple things out there. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff on your channel and others on the social media as a whole about the whole TQL and other brokers that are bad and so forth. Mm-hmm. So if you have legitimate complaints and factual evidence that you were being truly impacted by a broker, whether it's a shipper or broker, I'd like to see the letters, the emails that were written to the management requesting a meeting with a specific agenda so they can get their side of the story and identify whether they're willing to change their habits. And if not, then don't use them. So I would like to see those letters, those emails that you were professionally crafted, politely, not yelling at them, but saying the facts that, and requesting a meeting where you've sent 10 times to request a meeting and not a response, nothing. I bet you how many have done that?
Well, it's interesting to say that because the Rate Per Mile Masters Facebook page, Chad Boblet, he always preaches, if you have a problem with a broker, go approach that broker. You can find contacts, you can get higher up in the office, and a lot of people. Chad helps a lot of people resolve a lot of issues with brokers because of the very thing that you're saying. And then once if the issues that you're having with the broker, once you know that they're not going to resolve, or they still beat you down, then you just don't use them anymore. In a lower volume market like we're in, that becomes a little bit harder. So because that one particular broker might have 90% of the loads in the area, so it becomes an issue there. And then, do you
Well,
want to? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to
No.
say, well, you can't exist in this world of trucking space
Mm-hmm.
without having to interact with a broker ever, depending on the mode and the style of business you did. If you come out and you get your own shippers and you run your own gamut and you've done your own thing, you don't have to deal with a broker at all. You don't have to. I would say if you are frustrated with brokers and hate us brokers, the energy that it takes you to go on social media and complain about it, call those direct shippers, the people that will help you get you a step closer to making the money you want with the people you want. It's a choice because it's a free market. You don't need brokers, pure and simple. That's the reality. But those that do, I'll get onto the thing about posting rates so that we can make sure we keep it tight. But I'd say I cannot emphasize, I spent 3 hours with DIY showing tactics, how to improve your trucking business. I've spent numerous times on here giving tips how to improve your business. And how many people have taken any of those steps? How many have in the past year, if you were a one truck MC holder, how many of you added a website you didn't have before? How many of you fixed your LinkedIn profile? How many, like, if you're a trucking company, because you have your own MC authority. So whether you're one truck or 100 trucks, it doesn't matter. You're a trucking company in the eyes of the FMCSA. If you're a trucking company, and I'll put it this way: how many phone calls did you get last week for people calling for your truck? They found you on the internet. So basically, what steps have you done to get yourself away from brokers, to push yourself away? That's what I would say. And then to the point of the other day, we got into a thing about posting rates. Well, there's lots of different reasons. One, some shippers, they email their freight to say 5, 7, 8 brokers, and it's a bid system. So you have to, I can tell you. So I have a load that is, the market is low priced 100% because of the shipper. Why? What did they do? They emailed out to 5 or 6 of us, and they want us to fight to the bottom. You can say, I got this driver, he's got 15 years experience, he's excellent, perfect safety record, all of this stuff, and I give him a price. And if another broker has a cheaper price, guess who gets the load? The cheaper price. Always. This shipper is 100% price driven. Unless there's been the odd urgent load, then they're worried about transit times. But everything is price driven. So that's the first reasons why some brokers won't post a rate, because they're in competition to multiple brokers, and they want to keep their cards to themselves. That's pure and simple. So, it's a competitive market. So sometimes some brokers don't want to post the rates. Number 2 reason, the load is complicated. So they don't want to just post a rate, because they know so many carriers sort a load board by price. And even if they post it as a high price or a low price, without knowing the details, sometimes you don't understand the whole. Just seeing the price without understanding the details. If a carrier just looks at the price and passes it on, that's not the carrier they want. That's why they don't post the rate, because I have many loads like that. that, and also the sister company in Canada, which is LoadLink of DAT, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're the same companies. In LoadLink, you cannot post a rate. There's no box to post the rates.
Wow.
How about them apples?
I
So
didn't know that.
yeah, you know how the box is so short, and you know how many people they'll call and say, I post things, and the box is like 160 characters that you can put text about the load.
Mm-hmm.
And half of the people that call me, they don't even know how to read the column to see the attributes. I just say, well, did you see that? No. Oh, well, look at the, don't you see the description? Where's that? Like I keep saying, if you want to be the dispatcher on the load boards, on a computer or on your phone, you have to learn how to navigate this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So learn how to read, find the notes. Where's the information about the loads? So the point is, one, they don't post the rates because it's a competitive bid and they don't want to reveal their price. Because I've had where I'm on a load board like this, and all of a sudden some carriers say, "Hey, I see the same load posted by 3 or 4 other brokers. I'd rather book by you." I called 2 of these brokers. This is the price they're doing. I'm willing to do it for this price. Rob, you go bid it and try to get this load because I'd rather it goes with you. So I've
Mm-hmm.
had that. It goes back. It does. It doesn't take long for things to get exposed. They don't post the rates, but I've had other carriers tell me what other brokers are willing to pay. And so that's the summary. It's a competitive thing. 2, the load is complex. So they don't want to post a rate because there's lots of details, maybe multiple stops, high value goods, and so forth. Right. Number 3 could be the way their TMS integrates. So they may or may not want that. Some shippers may even know that you could post the rate. Some shippers may have told brokers they don't want them to post the rates. They don't want to reveal that. So, there's some different reasons why. And at the end of the day, if you want, ask the broker, why don't you post your rates? But a lot don't. So I think that if you want to continue to work with brokers, then you need to find different brokers. I can tell you that there's hundreds, if not thousands of brokers around the United States that do not even post half of their freight on the load boards. They have network of carriers. Because I'll tell you from my own experience, just last week, if you get 5 loads, 10 loads from a shipper, brokers are going to call their network of carriers first. If I can call you, Steve,
Mm-hmm.
and say, I've got these 5 loads going here to here, and we have a relationship, you know these loads, boom, I've given you 5 loads. I didn't have to deal with 25 to 30 carriers to deal with 1 load here, 1 load there. They're going to batch out as much as you can. So when you're trying to compete as one truck operator, even if you had the best service, you're doing all the right stuff, some brokers are going to, and you say to them, yeah, call me with your freight and all this. And they call you, say, hey, I got 5 loads for you. Well, I've got 1 truck. They're sure they'll give it to you because you're doing a good job for them. But ultimately, the brokers are looking for when they have, if it's a mid-sized volume, like if they only have 1 load from that shipper and you got 1 truck, that's a perfect match.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a broker that is getting 5 loads of PO of 5, then they're going to want to batch that out because that's how they avoid those one and dones.
Yeah, the your brokerage, I think I've only seen loads posted twice in the time that I've been aware of your brokerage. That you're an agent for. So I mean that goes now. RD has so our rates higher on loads where rates are not posted.
Sometimes,
Sometimes, yeah, I agree with that.
sometimes not. Maybe not. Maybe it's less, but it's because they're going with carriers that they can rely on and they can get it booked fast because it all depends on the circumstance. Like some brokers are out there where they're getting the freight days in advance, weeks in advance. Other brokers are literally the way that works. And again, if you start working with direct shippers, you'll find this out. Some shippers work that today's Monday morning, you wake up and there's an email and they got 10 loads today or today and tomorrow. So that shipper has blasted that email out to 5-10 brokerages, and all the brokers are out there fighting to secure some of those loads. That's the bane of the bid market, right? That's the bane of it. But I can tell you, there's other brokers out there that are moving high value stuff, specialty things that are not on the load boards. They're finding carriers. So that's the question you have to ask yourself: are you findable? If I looked up dry vans in a certain state, does your name come up? as a possible choice to compete against other. If there's mid-sized carriers in your town, are you one of the carriers that are listed there?
Right.
If you're not, you need to get whether you're working with brokers and you hate brokers. But I would say that if you're really hating on brokers, like if you really just, then number one is cancel your load boards. And there's plenty of freight to get out there from other carriers that have excess loads. Call up all the mids. You don't have to go to the megas, but you can go to the mid-size carriers and ask them about their brokerage, their internal brokerage for mid-size, and start. Just, if you hate brokers this much, get off of it, because that's it. Like, why are we wasting so much time on this? It's really simple. It's a free market, and if you truly have legitimate, factual evidence that you are being not handled correctly, or you feel that the business actions that they're doing, you have multiple choices. One, just stop using them, period. Two, and pass the word along. Two, you set up a meeting to get why are they doing this and see their actions, and if they don't change, then again you can stop them. And if you feel it's really if there's legal matters involved, well, then I guess you can involve your legal departments or your lawyer, hire a lawyer to help you and mitigate it. And you can report them to the FMCSA. You can go to your, like, there's a bunch of ways that you can do things, but it's a matter of what path do you want to go down? What's going to gain? If it's going to help your business in the long run, sure, then take that path. But I'd say if you're just out here saying, oh, I hate the broker, that's fair. You can say, I hate banks, right? I hate banks. Like, does it, like, so when the rates were, when you guys were saying that the rates were $4 or $5 a mile, and you looked at the averages, they were double, 2 to 3 times the averages. Did anyone complain? See, if I recall, there was complaints about broker transparency right at the start of the vid times. And then it all of a sudden, when things flipped around, and all of a sudden there was supply shortages and the prices skyrocketed, somehow that dissipated. And now that the rates come back down, it's come right back up. So there's obviously, what's going to make the carriers happy? They're saying the brokers are the biggest problem. Is it the brokers or is it the shippers? Combination, maybe, right? But we know that the shippers are trying to, when they can save money, they're going to save money. They're like, when you hear about these companies that have been shut down, that, just recently in the last couple of weeks, there's been some, 200 drivers and employees, the whole company shut down because they lost the contract. Mm-hmm. So did those shippers come to those carriers saying, hey, you've been with us this long, this is the price we've been paying you, we've been slammed with so much lower rates that we have no choice, but we're going to give you 60 days to extend our, to finish out the contract. So you have time to recover and make other plans. But unfortunately, we're having to find alternate. But the shippers themselves, the contracts that one lady who had the video, literally, they woke up and they done. The loads that were on their trucks, they had to finish delivering. All new loads, there was 20, 30, 40 loads pending to be booked, canceled, assigned to the new carrier. So the shipper shut down 200 people. So where's all the bashing about shippers? How come we're not bashing all these trucking companies that have been recently shut down? And look back in the last 3 years, just type up trucking businesses bankrupt, trucking business shut down. There's hundreds. And look at the reasons. Look at Lakeville Motor Express, or there's not Lakeville, but there's an LME, and that was Lakeville. There's another one up in the north, but they were a company around for 45 years. LTL carrier. They got on the Amazon train, and after they quickly lost a bunch of other stuff, shut down after 45 years. So that's a company that didn't deal with brokers. So there's no answer. You have to just set your own path for your own business, pure and simple.
Pretty much, yeah. So
I'll leave it at that. But that's what I'd say is, I think that if we're continued to do the bashing, sure you can, but I would say 2 things: the time that you spend on broker bashing, go work out, and number 2, the time you want to spend broker bashing, build up your business and make new relationships. Pure and simple. You can hate the brokers all you want. You can make a doll of me, the voodoo doll of me in your truck, and carry me around, poke me, and I don't care what. I am what I am. I'm a broker, and I know what I do, and I know the value that I bring to the industry. Some may perceive not, some may, whatever. Just like a carrier, I can say there are a ton of bad carriers. They're shysters. They don't care. They just want to grab a buck, right? There's stories galore of shyster carriers holding loads hostages to brokers, putting loads in storage, and brokers had to pay thousands of dollars to get it out, all to protect their customers so their customer doesn't get involved. So you have to, I go with facts. So if you're bashing a broker and you feel that they're gouging you, whatever that definition is for your business, but if you feel there's gouging involved and you have factual evidence, either step up, call the shipper directly that's involved. If you know there's a customer that broker has getting paid $4,000 and they're paying you $2,000 and you feel that's gouging, then either call that shipper directly, even though you have that contract. Just say, do you understand that broker is gouging you? Right? Set that world on fire.
I've known carriers that have actually done that, and they've gotten the direct freight that way.
Right. So if you feel that, then go set the world on fire and take that freight away from those brokers. If you truly have factual, where you have legitimate invoices, where you have, you can see the customer's invoice at 4,000 and you have a load confirmation at 2,000 and you feel that that's gouging, and you can walk into that shipper's door and say, do you realize what's going on? Then have at it, because you have the facts. But if you don't have the facts, I tread carefully, because you don't know the facts of this. If you don't have those pieces of paper and you're going to call a shipper on that, hold on. Unless you may not know the relationship between the broker and that shipper, or what agreements and contracts. Who knows? Maybe you don't know that maybe that broker took a big loss for the shipper and the shippers agreed to pay extra on these 10 loads. And that's to make up for something else that happened. Who knows? I can tell you, I've had to pay losses on loads many times. Just recently, I paid for a customer. The carrier failed to pick up, so I had to pay $600 extra to get a different carrier to pick it up and make the delivery on time. Did I recover that? No, that's 100% on me, not even my company. So I can share stories.
Oh yeah,
what's the point?
Right. Yeah. No, that's what I'm trying to do. I understand things from both sides. So, there are brokers that I deal with, and there are brokers that I won't deal with, and there are brokers that have done me wrong and brokers that have done me right. So that's just the sake
and
of
you
it.
can, like I said, you don't need brokers. Just take it out of your context. You only deal with shippers. Set yourself up. I'll make it like this. If you want to just deal with direct shippers, that's perfectly fine. And if you work in a specific industry, let me ask anyone on here that's listening, if you like to haul paper rolls, or you like to haul whatever food stuff. So do you have your tickets booked for that? So that industries associations show, just like your guys go into Matt's, are you going to that Medical Supply Association's national convention in Las Vegas? Do you have a booth set up there to advertise yourself? Or are you going to go around and meet and greet with all the people at that conference? Have you done that? Have you gone to that industry association's website and seeing all the members, and that's your direct list of shippers for you to call? Right? If you know a specific, if you like hauling freight for a specific commodity, find that industry association, look up the membership, advertise in their weekly or monthly catalog, their newsletters, and learn that industry. Get your name in there. I'm giving you all the inside tips that will solve your problem. You don't need to deal with brokers. You have 1,000 ways to avoid working for the broker. Pure and simple. If you hate us, leave it. You don't need a load board. There's a lot of freight out there. I cannot emphasize enough. And if you want to work with brokers because you like the flexibility that it brings you, and the fact that you can factor loads easy and all this good stuff that does come with it, then you just have to have your own set of standards and how you evaluate the broker. You set it up. Don't worry about the next driver, because the next driver may have different standards. It's your business. You set your standards for your business, and choose the brokers you wish to work with that meet those standards. And if they don't, blacklist them. That's why you have a TMS system, or a napkin list, or some kind of list that you put as do not use. And you're going to find shippers the same way. So I'll leave it at that so that you can close out.
Thank you, CDN. Thanks for your words of wisdom. I appreciate you very much.
Well, I don't think it really is words there, but it's just I think that we just have to look at some of the more factual stuff and choose alternate paths. Not saying that there's not bad brokers out there, but I can also tell you, spend some time and you'll find some bad shippers.
Yep. All
So
right. Thank you, CDN. Everybody, check out CDN's channel. I put the link in the chat there. So
I
check it
apologize.
out.
I've been super busy and I haven't had time to post. I do have lots of video ideas. I've been really busy.
I hear you,
So,
man. I hear you.
so
So, all right. I'll talk to you later, my friend.
thanks. Have a
Yep.
good
Bye.
one. Appreciate the time.
Yep. All right. That was CDN. So, on that note, we are going to end the feed. So, thanks for coming in. 48065 if you want to check out the 123 low board. Also, we're going to be at Matt's. This is the last live feed before I show up. Well, no, there'll probably be one early Thursday morning, but beyond that, I'll be on the road. Thanks for coming in, everybody. Thanks for CDN for sharing his words of wisdom, and thanks for all you guys showing up this morning. So if I see you at Matt's, we'll be at the Thunder Funding booth. I wish I knew the booth number. If I know the booth number, I will actually see if I can. No, I'll do a community post on the booth number that we'll be at. So if you want to talk to me or Jeffrey Like, or I'll be out walking around too. I'm not just going to be at the booth as well. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Strength for today, hope for tomorrow, and aggression turns the screw. Later.